Hi, this week we're going to be looking at replacing a behavior, a challenging behavior to be precise. But before I go further, I would like to break down sensory disorder, then differentiate it from challenging behavior. Many children with special needs, especially children with autism, they tend to have sensory modulation, and this can display as a behavior problem. What behavior problem are we talking about? We're talking about inattentiveness, running, restlessness, climbing, etc. Now, observing your child or observing them closely, you will be able to differentiate between challenging behavior and sensory issues by observing a pattern. Sensory issues is also a sensory processing disorder. It is a condition in which brain has issue with organizing and responding to an information from senses. Senses like sound, light, taste, texture, and smell. All these senses can create sensory overload. Now, there are two categories of sensory issues. The first category is sensory seeker, while the second one is sensory avoider. Sensory seeker tends to look for stimulation in his or her immediate environment. They press for, they try to feel their sensory need, their sensory urge in the environment. This can be observed in a child that is running around, that is climbing, that is always throwing himself in a sofa, trying to rub his body against a sofa or against somebody. These are sensory seeker. They are having a urge at that time. They need a feel. It could be through tactile, it could be through smell. You can see some children trying to sniff around, sniff a particular smell around. It could be taste. These are the children that want to put things in their mouth often. They want to, anything they see, they want to feel it by putting it on their tongue. Now, we have sensory avoider. These are, these sensory avoider are the children that tends to get too much of sensory input in their immediate environment, and with this they try to block it. They try to, that's when you see a child shouting when he's so sensitive to something like a sound, then he's shouting to be able to balance it up. Then you see some children don't like touching messy things. This is tactile. They don't like to touch. When something is messy, they get irritated with it. You see some children, when the smell is so strong for them to death, you see them getting restless. So you, you need to know whether your child is sensory avoider or is a sensory seeker. For you to be able to place, when you see a particular behavior happening, you will know whether, okay, this is due to the factor that my child is sensory seeker. Challenging behavior. Let's break challenging behavior down so that we will now be able to know, okay, what is going on here? Is this a behavior I'm seeing, or is this a sensory need I'm seeing? Challenging behavior. Let's look at a behavior before we now go into challenging behavior. A behavior is anything you as a person does. Anything you do that that is observable, that somebody can tell that so person is doing so thing. Something like dancing, something like shaking, something like blinking, something like speaking. As I'm talking now, is also a behavior. Now, when a dead man can do it, then it's no longer a behavior. That's his behavior. Now, challenging behavior, behavior that is not socially acceptable, behavior that when you see it is awkward. It's not a behavior for that particular setting. I can go into a cafe and make a sudden shout or be shouting. It's odd. People in that environment will like, why is this shouting? So it will call attention. or brushing on in the afternoon outside. Yeah, people were like, what is going on? Challenging behavior, or throwing myself on the floor in the park, shouting, crying. And so a lot of people will still want to come around like, what is going on with the child, or what is going on with this person. So that is what is called challenging behavior. Thank you for watching. That's all for this week. For you guys that have taken your time to subscribe on our YouTube channel, more grace to your elbows. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to like our activities on social media. Thank you. Bye.